It's a new day and the sun may or may not be shining depending on your associated time zone, but regardless of the hour, Desura is here bringing a little bit of party to your week. We've got a new assortment of games ready to ride this week, so if you've been out of the saddle, allow us to give you a friendly hand back on up into the stirrups in this week's episode of Desura's Weekly Release Highlights. Human beings, give us limited space and by the end of the week, we'll more than likely be killing each other. Hell, you give us endless space and we'll probably still find an excuse to shoot the old proverbial guy over there. Spaceforce Constellations proves this point by bringing players face to face with space in a race to conquer a galaxy torn to lovely sparkling pieces. Get a line on the valuable resources, assemble a fleet, and engage in mothership card battles to determine the keeper of your corner of the universe. I can see the stars in your eyes at this point, and the only cure is lobbing lasers, so if you're interested in Spaceforce Constellations, swing on through Desura and pick it up today for $19.99 on the Windows operating system. No, not the smoky stuff that you see at Halloween parties. Black Ice. Intrusion countermeasures to those in the know about all things cyberpunk, those little bots in between you and the bits and bytes of something nice that you've come to heist. It's also the title of a game developed by a super duper GC and offers up first-person action to the throbbing sound of electro beats, driving players ever forward to hack the next node, destroy the next foe, and increase their skills at digital skullduggery. Featuring procedurally generated maps to mash, gear to grab, and an endless supply of foes to fracture, Black Ice is available this week through the Desura service. If the real world has been all too oppressive and you need to relax with something electronically aggressive, Black Ice can be purchased for $5.99 on the Windows, Mac, and Linux operating systems. On a more serious note comes a game with a message which is interested in exploring the world of the introvert. Taking control of a gamer/shut-in and leading her through social interactions, Social Caterpillar is an odd game that tries to shed light on a tough subject. With puzzle gameplay, implied storylines, and all the insect speeches you can possibly deliver, Social Caterpillar is a game with something on its mind. Those interested in breaking outside of the box and meeting people can grab Social Caterpillar for $2.99 on the Windows operating system. When Icarus forgets his Red Bull and ends up stranded somewhere in the mortal realm, it's up to his one and only friend to guide him home. NyxQuest Kindred Spirits is a platforming puzzle game in which gamers guide a small sprite into the fight to save her friend. Containing puzzles, heaps of sand, and more pillars than Zeus privy, use Nyx's powers to stop projectiles, place blocks, and ensure safe passage to the falling place of her amigo. NyxQuest Kindred Spirits can be purchased for $9.99 and is compatible with the Windows and Mac operating systems. The Skull faction has taken over a local cellar, and as you might guess, they're not the nicest guys. Unfortunately for you, there's a bottle of booze worth blasting for deep in its shadowy recesses, so it's time to dust off that Derringer and get down to business. Vintage here randomly generates your sales fluoro slaughter and places weaponry lovingly about to help you with your survival, but be warned, death is final. Once you drop, it's back to the beginning to try again with any newfound muscle memory you may have developed along the way. Vintage here is available for the Windows operating system and is a steal at $2.99, so get the game and get to gunning. Peering over the puzzling partition this week for the first time, Regions makes its maiden voyage into the collective gaming hive mind by offering a collection of abstract geometrically generated puzzles to massage the gray matter. The goal is simple: draw paths across colors of differing regions, leaving only a single square obscured during your journey. It's simpler said than done, as Regions is a cerebrally stimulating spectacle which will leave you tonguing your teeth with trepidity when searching for the proper solution. Regions is available for $4.99 and is compatible with the Windows and Linux operating systems. It's a new hostile world with guns to find, armor to adorn, and boots for walking, but one thing is for certain: before the end of the trip, Brandon must die. Brandon Must Die is the title of a new game launching to the Desura service this week, which offers roguelike action RPG gameplay, all packaged neatly on a forgotten world where a lost scientist must find her way towards revenge. With a dozen or more weapons and over 100 random items to help you along, we hope that you've brought your utility belt, because it's going to take a vast assortment of miniature-sized pockets to keep control of the gadgetry this game has on board. Brandon Must Die can be purchased for $4.99 and is compatible with the Mac, Linux, and Windows operating systems. And like that, the final game having been announced, I, as the announcer, found myself utterly out of things to utter. If you enjoyed this week's episode of Desura's Weekly Release Highlights, feel free to drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe to stay in the know about all the latest and greatest in gaming through the Desura service. We'll have another buffet of games for you next week, that much is certain, so thank you for joining us here at Desura's Weekly Release Highlights, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.